A friendly game of football. Edward Dyson. We were challenged by the Dingoes, they're the pride of Squatters Gap, to a friendly game of football on the flat by Devil's Trap. And we went along on horses, sworn to triumph in the game, for the honor of Gyp's diggings, and the glory of the same. And we took the challenge with us. It was beautiful to see, with its lovely curly letters, at its pretty filigree. It was very gently worded, and it made us all feel good, for it breathed the sweetest sentiments of peace and brotherhood. We had Chang, and Trucker Hogan, and the man who licked the plug, also Haggerty, and Houlihan, and Peter Scott, the pug. And we wore our knuckle dusters, and we took a keg on tap to our friendly game of football with the Dingoes at the Gap. All the fellows came to meet us, and we spoke like brothers dear. They'd a tip tray full of tucker, and a wagon load of beer, and some lint done up in bundles. So we reckoned there'd be fun or our friendly game of football with the Dingo Club was done. Their umpire was a homely man, a stranger to the push, with a sweet, deceitful calmness, and a flavor of the bush. He declared he didn't know the game, but promised on his oath to see fair and square between the teams, or perilous than both. Then we bounced the ball and started, and for 20 minutes quite we observed a proper courtesy and a heavenly sense of right. But Fitzpatrick tipped McDougal in a handy patch of mud, and the hero rose up, chewing dirt, and fumishing for blood. Simple Simonson, the umpire, sorted out the happy pair, and he found a pitch to suit them, and we left them fighting there. But the conqueror and cop-out met with cries of rage and pain, and wild horses couldn't part those ancient enemies again. So the umpire dragged them from the ruck, and pegged them off a patch, and then gave his best attention to the slugging and the match. You could hardly wish to come across a fairer-minded chap for a friendly game of football than that umpire at the GP. In a while young Smith, and Henty, and Blue Ben, and Dick, and Blake, chose their partners from the Dingoes, and went pounding for the cake. Timmy Hogan hit the umpire, and was promptly put to bed neath the ammunition wagon, with a bolus on his head. Feeling lonely like, McGee took on a local star named Bend, and 4 others started fighting to avoid an argument, so Simonson postponed the game, for fear some slight mishap might disturb the pleasant feeling then prevailing at the Gap. 60 seconds later 20 lively couples held the floor, and the air was full of whiskers, and the grass was tinged with gower, and the umpire kept good order in the interests of peace, whilst the people, to oblige him, sat severely on the peel ice. Well, we fought the friendly game out, but I couldn't say who won. We were all stretched out on shutters when the glorious day was done. Both the constables had vanished. One was carried off to bunk, and the umpire was exhausted, and the populace was drunk. But we've written out a paper, with good Father Feely's aid, breathing brotherly affection. And the challenge is conveyed to the Dingo Club at Squatters, and another friendly game will eventuate at this end, on the flat below the claim. We have pressed the Gap to bring their central umpire if they can. Here we honestly admire him as a fair and decent man, and we are building on a pleasant time beside the Phoenix slums, for the giant feels he's got a call to plug him if he comes.